All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, man, I swear, you cannot make this up. Gervonta Tank Davis will be announcing his next fight very soon, and word on the street, it will be somebody that I heard many people say would be a very good fight, but now all of a sudden, magically, it's a cherry pick. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division talking about the biggest name in boxing south of the 168-pound division, and that is Gervonta Tank Davis. Name also Islamic name Abdul Wahid. Do not know if he's actually going by Abdul Wahid or not, but so until that, I will call him Gervonta Tank Davis or Tank Davis. He is announcing his next fight very soon, is the understanding that I'm getting from all of the reports that are flying around the internet. Also have spoken with his team, and they said that they were waiting on the word on what the next fight was going to be. However, pretty sure that it's coming out soon. And a leading candidate for the person that he would be fighting is a guy that goes by the name of Frank the Ghost Martin, who is represented by, or excuse me, is with the promotional company of Errol Spence Jr. So that should be good news, shouldn't it? But no, it's not good news, and let me tell you why. But before I do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really makes a very, very big difference to the channel. Matty, you my guy, thank you. And once again, man, rest in peace to the great John Bowie, who passed away earlier last week, and our condolences go out to his family. But let's get into this. Frank Martin is a very good fighter, undefeated fighter from Indianapolis, Indiana, and fights out of Dallas, Texas, is trained by Derek James, and he is promoted by Man Down Promotions, Errol Spence Jr. He, again, is one of the best lightweights in the world. Last time I looked, he was in the top three. I believe he was in the top three, top four of the WBC rankings. And really, in my opinion, he should have been number one in the WBA rankings. Has been very high in the WBC rankings. Very good fighter. Fights on the PBC. Right, I do believe he's advised by Al Heyman, or basically is in that same setup. So I had said a long time ago that a fight between Frank Martin and Gervonta Davis makes a lot of sense. He also checks off a lot of boxes that some people complain about, saying that when are we going to see Gervonta Davis fight a black fighter? Well, check. When are we going to see him fight a slick fighter? Check. When are we going to see him fight a top fighter? Check. All of those boxes are checked with Frank Martin. And just so you know, we go through the top lightweights that are there. Gervonta cannot fight Gervonta, so obviously he's not available to fight himself. Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, and then after that, you wind up with Frank Martin. You can make an argument that you could end up with Raymond Muratalla, that you could end up with somebody like Edwin De Los Santos. Andy Cruz does not have enough fights yet. He's only on his second fight. Very good fighter. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to be way up there. Andy Cruz, who's with Matchroom. However, think that's about it. George Kambosos is there. Please, no. But think that's about it. That's about it. Bring maybe Navrati when Navrati comes to the lightweight division. So Frank Martin right up there amongst those guys at lightweight. Devin Haney has left the weight class, so he's not a lightweight. But yet, I hear conversations about Frank Martin being a cherry pick for Gervonta Davis. I would very much like to understand how in the world Frank Martin is a cherry pick for anybody. He wouldn't have been a cherry pick for Lomachenko. He's not a cherry pick for Lomachenko. That man can definitely give work to Vasily Lomachenko. When people use the word cherry pick, you're looking for somebody that has absolutely no opportunity to win whatsoever. I have no clue why anybody would think that Frank Martin is a cherry pick. But let me stop. I do know why people would think that Frank Martin is a cherry pick. Because anybody Gervonta Davis fights, if you listen to certain people, is a cherry pick. Every single solitary one of them. None of the fights that he has are worth it when he's fighting that person. Now, when somebody else is fighting that person, it's a big win. Or it's a perfectly fine fight to take place. Let's take, for example, the last person he fought, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, according to many people, was going to beat Gervonta Davis before that fight took place. He was too tall. Gervonta Davis would never fight him. He's got too much power. This man has the ability to knock out Gervonta Davis. Now, this is a guy who had beaten Luke Campbell by, I do believe, knockout. Luke Campbell, who was one of the top lightweights, a very good fighter in Luke Campbell. Somebody that Devin Haney was trying very hard to fight. Somebody that Lomachenko did fight and went the distance with. Then you have Javier Fortuna. Javier Fortuna got knocked out by Ryan Garcia. This is the same Javier Fortuna that a lot of people thought beat Robert Easter Jr., who was the WBC lightweight who was the WBC, or was he the WBC or the IBF? I think it was the IBF, was the IBF lightweight champion. For a while, Robert Easter Jr. From Ohio, Robert Easter Jr., tall, long, lanky, had a very close fight with Javier Fortuna, and some people thought Javier Fortuna won that. Ryan Garcia knocked out the person that gave Javier Fortuna that very, very difficult fight. The only other people to really beat up on Javier Fortuna was when Javier Fortuna went up into the 104. I think he may have been closer to fought a guy that fights at 147 against God, I can't remember his name is. I was going to say Adrian Molina, but that's not his name. But my point, the point of the matter is that Javier Fortuna is a very good fighter. But when Ryan Garcia fights him, all of a sudden when Ryan fought him, it was a good win, right? For Ryan. And Ryan was a top fighter. But when Gervonta fights him, it's no good. It's going to be the same thing. That's why people ask me, what do you think about the guy that Gervonta Davis fights next? And my answer is always going to be the same. I don't really care because people are going to complain about it no matter who it is. He could fight Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko would have been old. He could fight Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez already lost to George Kambosos. He could fight George Kambosos. George Kambosos already lost to Devin Haney, and he was never any good. But the flip side will be the case with a fighter that people like, as in when George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos was garbage, and Teo lost to a garbage fighter. But then when Devin Haney beats him, George Kambosos was the second best lightweight in the world at the time. The narrative switches up, depends on who exactly likes who. But I'll take the fight. I actually hope that fight gets made because I think that it'll be entertaining and it's a very risky fight for Gervonta. Just like Hector Garcia was a very risky fight for Gervonta Davis that nobody gave him credit for. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.